Do you know why anxiously attached women will eventually tear you apart? It's because they get in really close and they seem so nice at first, but eventually that niceness turns to ugliness. So how do you know if you're about to get your heart broken and be obsessed over by a toxic partner who's dangerous to you? I'm about to tell you. I'm Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist, and knowing this and fixing it happens to be my specialty. First of all, thank you to all of my members who just signed up for new memberships on this channel. It's a new feature I just launched to help support me. I just crossed 450 videos on this channel, not including this one. So there we go. We keep climbing. Thank you for all the support you're giving me as members. And if you are new to this channel, welcome, thank you, and I'm glad that you're here. So now let's continue the part 2 of this discussion about anxiously attached women. They can be the most toxic partners for men with avoidant attachment. So by the end of this video, you're going to know the dangers that are in front of you and what you need to look out for, because I'm going to help you stay safe. All right, guys, let's get into it. So as we mentioned in the previous video, anxiously attached women crave approval. It is their drug. It is absolutely their drug. A pat on the head is like $10 million. They also, at first, keep their emotional distance. They'll do a lot of things for you and ask for nothing. Sex on the first date, every kind of sex, threesomes, yeah, sure, great, I love sharing. All kinds of activities that's designed to make you happy because they're just here to have fun. They're just here to make you so happy. Please don't ever leave me. This is the nature of getting into the anxious attachment. So it will seem at first like a dream. It's going to feel great. They let you keep your space. Your avoidance makes you value that space, and they won't intrude on you at first. Now, as an avoidant person, if you have avoidant attachment, you are not a bad person. Like all the videos on the internet tell you about avoidant attachment. You're not a bad person. You're just distant, because closeness to other people, it's scary, right? It's scary to let people get in. You haven't known anyone that you could really trust, most likely, and you keep people right about here for their safety and yours. You just keep them right here. You don't manipulate. You just keep them here. You might sprinkle people with approval and kindness. They might call this love bombing. The more manipulative versions are like future faking, saying, hey, I'm going to build you a house. We're going to be so happy, flying people out to Paris on day 1, right? I mean, Paris, France, not Paris, Texas, by the way. Flying out to Europe, flying to these great trips, saturating them with love and approval and kindness and attention. That's manipulative. Most of you probably aren't doing that. You're taking them out to a nice dinner. You're texting them. You're making them feel loved and cared for. Pretty decent stuff in a relationship. And it's you trying to be a loving partner, right? Great. But they might consider that love bombing, because here's what it does is it creates something called an oxytocin addiction. Oxytocin is a bonding hormone that we're supposed to get as children. Anxiously attached people are obsessed with it. It means they're safe. It means they're loved. They got a little, probably from mom when they were little babies, and then it was taken away. And they blame themselves for never getting it again and for feeling like they don't deserve it. So they think that when they get a little bit, someone accepts and loves them, and it's like a shot of heroin straight into their neck. So whenever you do that kindness, that approval, and bigger and bigger and bigger shots of heroin, the more you give them, the bigger that addiction starts to grow. You yourself become their biggest drug dealer, and they cannot live without you. They actually believe they cannot get this on their own or generate it in relationships. They are helpless, waiting for you to come pollinate them and give it and drop it off. They're a flower waiting for you to come. That's what it is. They can't get it themselves. This is why they get so hyper addicted to you. This is why it starts to turn toxic. Now, around 7 months into a relationship, they usually will start kind of pushing for definition, for labels, for closeness. They got a taste of what you can offer of a good relationship, and they want so much more. And they start rushing you. And then they are afraid when you pull away. You try to take some space. Okay, I've been making you feel good for about 7 months. I'd like a little bit of space. What did I do wrong? You want a weekend at your place? But why? Why do you need to? And they start freaking out, right? And you see them like hyperventilating because you said, I have to go home and get a clean pair of underwear, right? They start chasing you. They start really getting in super close, and this scares you. As an avoidantly attached person, it often terrifies you. The worst thing is to get someone invading your space and then demanding from you, right? It's like vampires going for your neck. That's the feeling you're going to start having. Like, oh no, I'm in a vampire film. Emotional vampires is something that often is attributed to anxiously attached people. They're emotional vampires sucking the life out of you. Remember that one. You can ask for some space at this point, or just try to get some alone time. They freak And they act like you hurt them. You wanting space is hurting them. You actually might start to feel like an abusive partner, like, dang, do I really need space? I guess not. I don't want to make them cry. A lot of avoidantly attached men don't get what's happening, so they try to soothe and say, well, okay, I guess I won't have needs. Okay, cool. I'll take care of you. And you will start to feel like they're a child you have to constantly parent. This is usually what happens at 7 to 12 months. And it starts getting worse in that 5-month block from 7 to 12, typically. Now they boost in this moment. They become super clingy, super needy. It's hyper approval mode. They're crying when things don't go their way. They're sobbing. I've had coaching clients come in and say, Adam, I don't know what I did wrong, but my girlfriend went from being like super fun to being miserable all the time. And I feel like I'm always hurting her because I just want a weekend to myself or an evening playing Xbox. Or I tried to go out for dinner with my mom and all she did was cry at home the whole time. I try to go to work, and if I stop at the store on the way home, she texts me like, why aren't you home yet? Where are you? It's been 10 minutes. Like, and I can't live with this anymore, Adam. Yes, I know. You have an anxiously attached partner who is obsessed with you. You did too good of a job at the beginning getting her attached, giving her love and kindness. Now she's addicted and she's going to drink the blood from your neck. Now, as you can expect, this creates a huge drain on you. If you're avoidantly attached, you already probably don't fully trust other people, right? Now you're forced at emotional gunpoint to cater to them. And there's a whole cycle that you start to go into that gets worse every time you do the loop. The loop looks like this. The loop is you start to withdraw because you just need some space. You're exhausted taking care of their needs. And then they freak out. And then they chase you. And then you feel chased and trapped. So you try to cater, but then you try to back off. So then they freak out and they chase. And it's this constant cycle that gets worse and worse and worse. I've seen guys have this problem where they say, oh, I just need some time alone. And she goes, well, what did I do wrong? No, nothing. I just need some time alone. But I must have done something wrong. No, I just need like a weekend to myself. A whole weekend? Did I make you mad? Like, what are you going to do? And then she starts thinking you're going to cheat on me. Of course you are. I'm not worth saying faithful to. And he's like, no, I just need a weekend alone. Well, but why? Why? Well, you know what? It's been a while. I just haven't had much time. So please stop clinging to me. And the guy is thinking like, okay, now I need like a week alone. And she's thinking like, I'm going to die if you walk out that door. And then she won't even let you leave. And you feel like a captive in the home, right? Now this starts usually at that 1 year. Sometimes at 2 years. Sometimes couples can make it to 2 years before it gets really this bad, but it becomes really hot and vicious at this point. They start blaming you for everything. They go on TikTok and they start using words like narcissist. Covert narcissist is one I see thrown around a lot. And suddenly you go from the hero that they can't live without to the villain that they can't stop complaining about. How dare you not meet my secret needs? We're going to talk more about the specific signs and problems that you're going to look for in these relationships in the next one, and what problem this causes, why it tears relationships apart. We're going to talk about that more because there's so much more to come. But this right here is why both of you are each other's worst nightmare, and it's why they can destroy you if you're not careful. The biggest thing that I want you to take away from this video is that anxiously attached women are going to be your worst nightmare because they will confirm every fear you've ever had. If I let someone get in, they will trap me. In fact, you're going to be held at emotional gunpoint. It's going to confirm your worst fears and you're going to want to run away. It's going to make it harder to get close to other people. Now, most avoidant people, they love their partner. They love their girlfriend. They're like, man, this sucks. I don't want to hurt her. I don't want her to be this miserable. I don't want to be the guy that's wounding her. I don't want her to be like this. How do I stop this? Right? I have male coaching clients that come in and say, Adam, I feel like the worst guy in the world, but I just want to run away. What am I supposed to do? I really love her. And they're gutted. There's a lot of very good avoidantly attached people out there. Again, you wouldn't know it from the internet and how other people talk about them, but there are some wonderful avoidantly attached people who are just trying to stay free. So the choices that it boils down to when you're stuck in this cycle becomes break up and look and feel even worse, or stay trapped in a relationship that's slowly smothering you. And that's the cycle of anxious and avoidant. Now, once you feel trapped at that 1 year mark, if you choose to stay and try to take care of them, what do? How does it get worse? Because it often does. In the next video in this playlist, I'm going to teach you about why 99% of relationships with anxiously attached women are doomed to fail, and fail spectacularly. Don't miss it, because you need to know if you're headed for heartbreak.